Hey guys, I'm Rachel with I Am Raquel, and today we're going to talk about dealing with anxiety. Yay! No, it's not a fun subject, especially if you know what I'm talking about. You know it's not fun. So I'm going to tell you the answer today. We're going to talk about the solutions today to how to deal with anxiety. Are you ready? Get a pen, get a piece of paper, and write down the word Xanax. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. That's not what I'm talking about. It might be pretty effective, but we're talking about things that keep us in control of our anxiety. Now, medication may be super duper useful. I have medications that I use to help me control my anxiety, but we want to figure out what are all the things that we can do within our own personal power to help us control our anxiety before having to turn to things like medications, okay? All well and good. If you have to take a medication, then take a medication. There's nothing wrong with utilizing medication to help your mental illness. But having all these other tips and tricks in your toolkit are also really, really great. So that you can be empowered a little bit to do this stuff that helps, like when maybe you can't take a medication. There's plenty of times, right? Like being pregnant. There's a lot of people in recovery from drugs and alcohol that can't utilize medications in the same way that maybe somebody else would. I remember when I was pregnant with my son, I had to change the way that I was using medications to be safe for him. And so there's situations where having these tools can really help. Plus, it does something so amazing for my psyche and my mental state just to know that I have tools that are just within my own self. It's very empowering and helps me to feel a bit more confident and just knowing that I'm capable of pulling myself out of an anxiety attack or preventing one from happening. It helps me to have less anxiety because you know how it is, right? When you have anxiety, you can have anxiety about having anxiety and have a panic attack because you're scared you're going to have a panic attack. You know what I mean? So just to have those tips and tricks is going to be so helpful. So get ready. Here we go. Let's talk about thing number one. My favorite thing is breathing exercises. Now, a lot of times we will try stuff like breathing exercises and then just think, oh, that doesn't work because we were in such an elevated state, like when we tried to use it and it didn't work fast enough for us to feel okay. So we turned to our medication or we just had the panic attack and then said, well, that didn't work. I still had a panic attack. Or that didn't work. I still had to take my medicine. But with things like breathing exercises, it's going to take a little bit of time to get to the result part. And so what you're doing is trying to manipulate the way that your brain produces chemicals in your body. Your body is in a state of fear, it's in a state of panic, and it thinks that there's a big, big threat. So the part of our brain that experiences anxiety is a really primal part of the brain. And this would be like caveman getting chased by a big tiger, kind of like primal, right? So like that's the kind of threats that your brain thinks it could be experiencing when you go into this state, when you begin to use this part of the brain. But we're not getting chased by tigers today, right? Normally, the fear or the thing that we're worried about is like, oh, I don't have enough money to pay my car insurance, or I don't have, or oh, that person hurt me emotionally and I'm scared they're going to hurt me emotionally again, right? Things like that that are not life threatening. They feel really bad, but they're not life threatening. However, the brain is still responding to the threat in the same way as if the threat was a life or death threat. It responds to the emotional threat. It responds to the confidence threat. Sometimes we can have, something that might make us feel bad about ourselves that we experience as a threat. That kind of stuff. So know that that's what's going on in your brain. And different chemicals lead to different reactions. So there's a whole bunch of different chemicals that are stress chemicals, and then there's other chemicals that are calm chemicals. So your body's releasing the stress chemicals in your brain when you're perceiving that there's a tiger, okay? And then when your brain perceives that there is no tiger, then it releases all the calm chemicals. Now, there's different states that the body can be in that help you to release the calm chemicals. And that's our ticket. That's our goal at anxiety people, okay? We want to get the calm chemicals to release in our brain. So you have to know what are the experiences that the body is going to be in that'll tell the brain, hey, it's okay. It's okay. You can release the calm chemicals now. There's no tiger. So one of those things is breathing. So the breath is different when you're under a perceived threat or when you're in a calm state. Okay, so when you're experiencing the threat, the breathing gets more shallow. It reserves, the body starts to reserve the breath, and it's going to breathe like as if it's in a state where it has to run or fight. And so that's a quick, shallow breath. Right? You all know which one I'm talking about because you're like, oh, yeah, that's the one that I'm in all of the fucking time. Yeah, that one. Okay, but there's another type of breathing that the body will do when it is experiencing a state of calm. And those breaths are long, slow, and deep. Okay, deep in the lungs. There's several parts of the lungs, and you can breathe deep into the lungs or you can breathe shallow into like the top of your lungs. So we want to breathe deep into the bottom of the lungs, and we want to breathe long and slow. So the exact opposite of the anxiety breath is the type of breath you want to do. What happens is it's fucking hard. Okay, it's hard to do it. When you're in that state, it's hard because it's literally shutting down different parts of your body, different parts of your organs that are not so necessary right now. It's trying to conserve energy so that it has the energy to fight the tiger, to run away from the tiger, and all of that stuff. But hey, it's okay. We're not actually fighting a tiger. I can use my energy for what I want. So you're going to pull back your control. You're going to say, I got this. I'm in control. I'm going to breathe the way that I want to, in the way that is representative of that there is no tiger. Okay, so you're going to say, take the breath in. You're going to hold it as deep in the lungs as you can. And it's called belly breathing, okay? So when you pull the air in, it's that type of breath that lets your stomach raise and your stomach fall. And your stomach raise and your stomach fall. And at first, it takes a minute, right? Because you've got all those other chemicals running through your body that are going to keep you in stress. Secondly, it takes a minute for the new chemicals to form and to be released in the body. And we're tricking the body, right? Normally it's the brain sends the body a signal. And we're going to do the opposite thing. We're going to trick our mind and we're going to change the body. And then that's going to eventually send the signal to the brain to send out the new signal to the body. Okay, so that's having conscious control over that body so that we can trick our brain because it's our brain, right? We're the owner of the brain. We're the ones in control, not the other way around. It doesn't rule me, I rule it. Okay, so remember that. The anxiety starts up here in the brain, but you are the ruler of the brain. The brain doesn't rule you. You are the ruler of the brain. And it's your body. You're the ruler of the body. So you can consciously say, this isn't the type of breathing that I want to do. I want to do this other type of breathing. That's belly breathing. That's deep breathing. And if you can just keep doing it consciously, consistently, the right type of breathing, eventually those chemicals are going to release in the brain, all the calm ones. You're going to send that signal to the body that says, hey, it's okay. Guess what? No tiger. Get out of here. You're good. Okay? Now, tip number 2. I didn't say how many tips there was going to be, did I? No. Okay, so here's another tip. I'm doing it right now, actually. Look at this. Okay. It's called gum. You think I'm stupid? No. This is serious. Chew gum. Okay. So another state that the body can be in when it is not perceiving a threat is eating. You know how when you get super anxious and now you cannot eat a thing and you go days and days like just picking at food because you've had anxiety for 3 days straight and you haven't eaten? That's because your body shuts down its digestive system. If you're running and you're fighting a tiger and all of that, you don't have time to eat. Like, you're not stopping and getting a hamburger. You got stuff to do and you need your energy for that. So the body's going to shut down that digestive system because A, you're not worried about that right now. You're worried about needing that energy to run away from the tiger. So shut down the digestive system. That's why you don't really have a lot of hunger. That's why it's difficult to eat. But that's one of those things. You can trick your body into being in a state of eating because if you're chewing, then the brain, you're going to tell the brain, hey, I'm eating. And then the brain's going to say, oh, okay, well, we're eating. So I must not be chasing a tiger. I must not be fighting a tiger. So it's probably because I wouldn't be worried about that right now. So if I'm eating now, then that means I have evaded the threat. I'm cool. Boom. Calm chemicals spew out. And they tell the body a new signal. Now you're good. Okay? And this is my favorite. It's Orbit Sweet Mint. They should probably pay me for telling you guys that right now. Okay. But they don't. Okay. Another tip. And this is a third one. And this is just going to be 3 tips. That's what it's going to be. The other thing that your body's going to need is I call it just giving it what it wants. Okay? Give it what it wants. Your body thinks that it needs to fight a tiger or run from a tiger. So run from the tiger. Let's just let the body think that it did what it needed to do, okay? It has this inherent primal fucking need to get away from a scary thing. Let it do it. So get up, take a walk, take a run. Sometimes even just moving, like from this seat to that seat. So like if I started, this has been one of my favorite, most useful tricks. The minute that I feel a panic attack coming on, I get up, and we all know, right? Our triggers for anxiety attacks. But that's like a whole nother video. Okay. But as soon as I get those little things, I go, oh, those are my anxiety attack triggers. I immediately get up and I move to a different part of the house. I get up and I move to a different seat because even just that action of getting up and moving tells the body, I have left. I have left. And it's that easy. And now sometimes that's not enough, of course. It just depends on like the thoughts that are going on in your mind and like if you're doing the appropriate self-talk to calm the thoughts down instead of elevate them, and which is also another video, but it can be that simple as just to move from one space to another. I like to do a whole lot more movement than that, and you can even do, some shadow boxing, some kicks, some push-ups, some sit-ups, jumping jacks, move your body. Move your body. Your body wants to move. Move your body. Let your body think that it got away from the tiger. Let your body think that you did something to fight the tiger off. And once you do that, it will start to feel a lot better. And then when you go to stop moving the next time, then your body will say, okay, well, I did it. I ran from the tiger. I guess we're good now. Calm chemicals, sends a new signal, and you'll be okay. So those are my favorite tools for getting myself out of a panic attack, dealing with anxiety, and I hope that it helps you. I am Rachel with I Am Rock Hell, and I'll drop a link from my link tree if you want to see all the things that I do. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Mwah.